distance. Lions have but one playoff victory in 60-plus years. At the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Jeff Lesson. For more, 97to1theticket.com.
The following is a paid program. The views expressed on this program are not necessarily those of Entercom Communications, its sponsors, or affiliates.
Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm your host, Harvey Freed. I got my energy kicker right next to me, Becky Alley. There
Becky
she
Alley's
is.
in the house.
Love having Rebecca Alley in the house, better known as Becky Alley.
Yeah.
Lots of energy in the room. Becky, thanks for joining us. Of course, we've got a sort of an office celebration. I'll just throw it out there. A quick little salute to Sydney Glanz, who's getting married.
Congratulations to the Glanz family, where it's going to be all-day extravaganza for me and Harvey. We got morning and night weddings tonight. We're pretty pumped about it.
You and I get to hang out just all day today. Of course, Harry will take the day off and hang out with family and friends, and we'll catch up with him later. We give you 1 hour of the Hardcore Mortgage Show. Lots to share with you. We got some unbelievable guests today. We bring in lots of people. We bring in Austin Potas from Keller Williams out there.
Hey, good morning, Harvey. How are you?
Welcome.
Hey, by the way, happy birthday to Becky this week, huh?
Yay, birthday week continues.
Birthday week in the house.
It's the birthday celebration. Will never end.
I'm like a fine wine, people. A fine wine.
You guys are definitely, I grabbed the wrong one here, but you guys are out of the Novi Northville office. You call it Advantage. What is it?
Yeah, Keller Williams Advantage. We're out of Novi Northville, so we've got two locations, one there in Novi, 8 in Haggerty, right in that area, and we've got one right downtown Northville, a nice location over there. About 340 agents. We're going to do over $500 million in sales,
Wow,
over 2,000 transactions out of the office. We're the number one market share office in our area. We do a fantastic business.
Yeah,
You
guys
guys
are
are huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally huge.
And you bring in a couple great guys today. You got Bill West over here and Joe Monk. Of course, Bill, you've been around in the industry for a long time, over 20 years, closing over $20 million a year. You're definitely a big producer. Your team, you really make the transaction easy and smooth. You sit down with your clients, find out what their needs are. All old school stuff, hardworking guy, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Oh, and you do not have a deep voice.
Listen to that bass.
Jeez, oh, wow. All right. Well,
Like
definitely.
Megan Trainor over here.
Hey, if the real estate career thing doesn't work out, you could definitely try this radio gig here. I'm trying it anyways.
Yeah.
Also, Joe Monk. Hey, Joe, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you guys?
All right, Joe, you got a great background in moving. You had a moving company, and you've been an agent. You know, when I saw that you were in the moving company, you had a little background in mortgage industry back in the day. It really sparked something. I was like, you know what? There's no doubt, like having a moving company, and it's like logistics, and that's what we do. Is Bill, and you'll agree that the timing of these purchases, a lot of times, especially this time of year, this is where it's like do or die. We're either going to find a house and get our family in there, Austin. We're going to move the kids in before school starts, or maybe we step back and that school thing. Now it does matter, but we're okay with transferring them or moving the kids, starting in one school and maybe moving them into another.
Yeah, I love that. Joe and I actually were just talking about that before the show, and we're going, what is it? Why do people want to get in right now? And we see kind of a lull in the summer where everybody's on summer vacation, and now it's heating back up. Joe, you had said that to me as well. And you think a big part of it is just people are starting dance recitals and all kinds of other stuff going on too, right?
It's busyness. I mean, everyone says, oh, I got to get into the schools. But you already know what schools you're going to.
Right.
But as the schools start, I mean, there's already travel baseball tryouts. There's already travel this tryouts. Then you get into the schools and there's baseball and gymnastics and dancing and cheerleading and football and all these things. Nobody has time. And so that's, to me, the slowdown, because everyone's busy with those things, not because I had to get into this school district by September 4th or whatever the date might be.
Right. I agree with that because so I make time for everybody else as far as my business, but getting me to find 5 minutes to do something personal for myself, forget about it. Like, I don't have the time. So I hear what you're saying, where buyers are out there and they have to make the time to find the house. And I actually thought of when I saw you're in the moving industry or like that kind of stuff, that there's a lot of times where people have moving trucks literally in the parking lot at their closing. So that's also something that you can simplify familiarize yourself with, because it's the same thing. Like, we deal with it all the time where it's like rush when you do find the time.
Moving, mortgages, real estate, it's all about people's pain. And, the thing that I saw when I was on the moving side was people would call you the day before. I don't know what time we're going to close tomorrow. I don't know. No problem. We have like 6 hours worth of time at your first house. We'll be there when you guys are at the new house. And it's the same thing now. People are always worried about what's going to happen. So you learn through all these various industries about some sort of pain and what what is it that I can do to help that alleviate that pain?
I had that conversation yesterday, and is it real pain again? Yeah, I mean, yes, it's your personal pain and everything. It's not the end of the world if you have to maybe cancel something and reset it up the next day or something like that. Anyways, a lot of big fish to fry when you're purchasing a house, but really in the scheme of life, it's really nice if you can step back and enjoy the process, and hopefully everything does go smooth with you. Well, we are brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. That's where you're going to get a great approval letter, and we will make the process smooth and easy and hassle-free. Call us at 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We'll set you up with these fine real estate agents all across Southeast Michigan, and especially these guys. They do such a great job over there. That office has always been rocking. I know, Austin, back in the day you were with us. You've been running that office over a couple of years, and like you said, you meet so many different personalities in the industry, but generally speaking, if you're looking to meet somebody in the industry, there's nothing wrong with interviewing a few different real estate agents.
No, I totally agree. And everybody brings a different level of experience to the table and a different level of experience. So a guy like Bill, Bill's been in the business for, over 10 years. And Joe, you've got a lot of experience with all the logistics side of things. And this stuff is really important. I mean, even if you think about the life cycle of what goes into moving, people don't realize if you want to get into a house by the time your kids are hitting soccer practice or football practice there at school, like you got to be doing it now. There's some real urgency that's happening. And just to kind of tie that back in, but I totally agree with you. You want to find someone that's going to fit what your needs are, and you want to find somebody with the appropriate level of experience. It's actually really cool, Harvey and Becky, to be in this room with you guys, because I bet you if we added it up, there's 100 years of experience.
Or plus.
No doubt.
If not more. Yeah.
Well, we're here to make it a lot of fun for you again. 248-539-9797. If you're out there purchasing a house, if you're considering purchasing a house, you want to run some numbers, definitely give us a phone call. We'll give you all sorts of insight here. We are going to, Becky, definitely get into some technical information. Of course, we always want to talk about mortgage rates, the volatility still out there in the marketplace. We did see rates spike up all year long. It's continuing this way. Big jobs report next week. The Fed is going to have an announcement. Fed Chair Powell will be holding a press conference also. He's talking about some of the recent president's comments and regarding low rates and inflation. So there is some interesting news out there. We don't see any mortgage rates trending down.
No.
So definitely go ahead and lock in your rate. We're playing it safe nowadays.
Right, exactly. The days of the 30-year fix being at 3.5% gone. So if you're flirting with the idea, now's the time. Whether you're trying to get into your first home, trying to refinance an existing home, making your equity work for you, now is the time, because you'd be surprised that if you got into a mortgage this time last year, you're paying PMI. With the markets trending as they are up, right, so is your equity in your home. So make sure you're always using that asset to your advantage all the time.
Right. Again, finding out the seller's motivation. Bill, if you want to jump in on this conversation part of it, definitely one of the things that we talk about this time of year, like you said, is it like a panic time now? We're in sort of the end of July. It did feel like people took off in July. Now they're back, and they're looking to find that great house out there. What a great time out if you didn't sell your house earlier this year, maybe to reevaluate that listing and find out what you need to do to spruce up the house, or make it more advantageous for someone to come and make an offer to your house. Maybe some helpful tips on that as we head towards the end of summer. What do you think?
Absolutely. And there's a lot of new listings that are still coming out now, too. So, the listings appear that they're still selling pretty fast. We actually have them moving within just a few days, as long as they're still pretty and priced right. So any sellers that are thinking about maybe waiting until next year, we still have a bit of a shortage, especially in anything under the $500,000 price point. When we start to move up over that, we're getting a little bit of relief from the builders. But these are houses that they're going to have to be waiting for a while on. So yeah, if you're thinking about selling, this is still a great time. And absolutely, I mean, we've got this fervor going on right now. Voicemails are full this morning. And by the way, I'll be returning all those calls today.
Yes.
And Becky, I got to tell you, Becky, what you said right before the show. If you want it done, give it to a busy person. I think that matters too. Like Austin said, interview a couple of agents. The guy that's calling you every single day, he might not have a lot of business going on. He might not be the right one to market your house. So make sure you're patient with me today, guys, and I'll be back in touch with you today.
Oh, that's fantastic stuff. 248-539-9797. And we always take your calls here live in the studio. Of course, so much going on in the marketplace. Sometimes this time of year, too, Joe, you see a family out there, and they might be building that house. And now the builders maybe narrowed it down to, in the next 3 months, this house is going to be complete. Maybe now that house pops up on the marketplace, and it's just more so information out there for buyers. You have to be ready to jump on that house, have that approval letter ready to go.
That's absolutely right. The first thing that somebody needs to do before they even start talking to real estate agents should be getting that pre-approval, because they want to know exactly where they're going to be able to shop and where they're going to be able to buy and what they're looking for. There's no point in us showing you homes if you can't actually get that home. Additionally, the mortgage guy helps you understand the rest of your finances, because with today's market, if you're not doing new construction, there's a good chance you're going to pay over asking price.
Yeah.
And if you're going to pay over asking price, you have to know what you're prepared to do. How much am I going to put down? How much is, going to be for some other costs involved with mortgage process? And how much am I going to be able to put over asking so that I can put these bids in? And you have that conversation with your real estate agent once you've met with them after you've done the pre-approval. It helps everybody. Otherwise, I'm trying to explain it to you, and there's a whole side of that, your side of the table, so to speak, figuratively and literally right now, that I can't talk about because I don't know all the details. I know a little bit. I can help. I can guide. I can't do it all.
Yeah. And we were actually talking about that before we started where, there's so many lenders where they were pointing out to me where they give these pre-approvals out and they really don't mean anything when they actually go and find a house. They find out they're approved. So give us a call and we'll make sure that you get a true bona fide pre-approval.
We'll even underwrite it for you. All right. That music says we just got a quick little break here. Keep it on 97.1 The Ticket. All your calls, 248-539-9797. We'll be right back.
97.1 The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Dan Burke for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Grosse Ile, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Good morning. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. I'm Harvey Free. We got an excellent panel this morning. Harry Glantz to my right.
Morning, everybody.
Hey, Harry. How you doing? John Kolb, of course, from our office. How you doing, John?
Very well. How are you guys?
Great. John, of course, you're bringing the Stewart Team Real Estate Partners, Kevin Stewart, Jessica Z, Jessica Zelke. How you doing? Good morning.
Hello. What's going on?
Don't forget Maddie.
Maddie's over there, too. I know, Maddie, you're not mic'd up, but Maddie, our first time coming to the studio with us. So if you guys got questions and you're just tuning in, be sure to call 248-539-9797 here live on the Hardcore Mortgage Show. We give you 1 hour of mortgage and real estate talk. Always great to have Kevin Stewart. And Kevin, your morals are off the chart. Everything you do, and again, I wish you were referring me business. Of course, John's fortunate enough, but everything you do is above board and just an awesome office you guys really do. I've touched on a few transactions with you guys over the years and just really great work, so I'm proud to have you here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having us. We really try our best to do that. I mean, our mission statement becomes a big part. All of our stuff has to point back to that mission statement. And it's very important for us to love our community, take care of our community, and it's to affect change in our community through service and genuine love for other people. And that's a really important part for us. And everything that we do, the way that we act, the things that we do throughout our days, our weeks, our months, all have to point back to that.
Well, Kevin, doesn't it really start there? Doesn't it really start with helping people out and doing the right thing and being treated the way you guys want to be treated? I mean, that's really the core fundamentals of being in business and being just a good human being. I mean, it has to start there, and you have to do things. And we in the mortgage industry, like you do, you have to set your clients and people up for success. You want to see people succeed. So, like you, what we try to do is we put people in the right mortgage program for them. You want to put them in the right house for them, and then everything works out. You can't put somebody in a one-year ARM when fixed mortgage rates are at 4 3/4, and you're
baseball team that Detroiters love most. The Detroit Tigers live here. 97.1 The Ticket.
Welcome back to the show.
Austin's air drumming over here.
Air drumming.
Doesn't love a little rush.
Hey, Becky, you got cowbell over there?
Everyone needs more cowbell.
More cowbell. Sorry, Harvey.
No worries. Don't worry about it. You guys listen to the Hardcore Mortgage Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Fund. Again, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We have some great guys in here this morning, Austin and Bill West, and we got Joe Muck in here from Keller Williams Advantage Market Center, Novi, Northville area. You guys are always busy. It's a big area. Your area has been happening. And a little bit of talk about what's going on west of you guys, because as you know, growing up in Oakland County and being in this area, there's no doubt that it just continuously is pushing down 696. And I'm sure you guys are even picking up the South Lyon stuff and everything headed west. So there's just so many opportunities out there and some new great areas. And Joe, sometimes you'll even see that with the family when you sit down and you've worked out their needs list and you think you're all set. And then you got to sort of reevaluate and sit down and maybe edit that needs list.
Just happened the other day, yesterday, offer accepted. Client was looking, they wanted an acre of land or more, they wanted all these other things, but then of course the interior that they wanted. And so we saw 7, 8, 9 houses all over Milan, Grass Lake. I mean, we were really all over. And then we go into one house, it's in Adrian, it's less than half an acre, but it met every other demand. So they said, this is the one.
There you go.
So it happens all the time,
Yeah.
you know, and I try to tell everybody that, you know, I said, I'm not going to push you one way or the other. I'm going to set you up with what you told me. And then as we see them, I'm going to ask you, is this still what you want?
Yeah.
You know, do you still want to be within walking distance of downtown? Do you still want to be here? Do you still want to do that? Sometimes the answer is yes, and sometimes the answer is no.
Yeah, coming from someone I'm actually dabbling, as we were talking about, with the whole purchasing a new home, and I have my wants and my needs, but as you're out there and you're looking, you have to compromise and you have to figure out what it is that you absolutely must have in a house and what you're willing to settle on a little bit, just because the lack of inventory. And right now, like you said, there's a little bit of a lull in July, but it's starting to pick up. So now you have these new listings, but they're coming up with these onesie twosies, and everyone's jumping on these turnkey, because I'm guilty. I want to walk into a house and I have to do very much. I don't have time for that. So it's just about finding that inventory. But like you said, if the house isn't perfect, what are you willing to settle on? Are you looking for that perfect kitchen, that perfect bathroom? Do you want the location? Is it the schools? And just figure out what it is that's best for you.
You know, by the way, Becky, this is another reason to hire professional guys.
Yes.
You know, the truth of the matter is that what she's talking about is you need to prioritize what's really important to you. And when you sit down with a professional, one of the things we're coaching our guys to do is sit down and make a priority list. And what's funny about that is, especially even with a husband and wife or a partnership, people don't even have the same priorities. So a lot of times what we'll do is just sit down and say, and I know, Bill, you do a fantastic job with this. You know, we'll sit down and say, okay, you write out your top 5 wants, you write out your top 5 wants, and let's have that conversation. Because if you're not a cohesive unit as a couple looking to buy a house, then the agent can't service you correctly. So prioritizing the things that matter. So for you, it might be a great backyard. I know how you love that tiki backyard.
Yeah.
And for other people, it might be on the lake, or it might be having a great kitchen, or having a great master bathroom, or whatever it may be.
And of course, always the schools, you know, for you know, young families getting into areas. Definitely
prioritize.
Great points there. And a lot of times you might need a mortgage that fits that particular house. You know, we see it often. We talk about often. We got a client who might be putting 20% down, but the house they roll into has everything but that new kitchen.
Right.
Now all of a sudden that $300,000 house, they'll keep the extra 10%. That's $30,000 now that they can play with to go ahead and redo the kitchen, remodel, make the house the way they want, whether they're remodeling a bathroom or a kitchen.
Well, that's a great point too, Harvey. People don't realize that there's products out there on the mortgage side, and I know you guys offer those. People don't realize that there's products out there that allow you to have some money to remodel the house. So even if you're short on cash flow and you don't have that extra $30,000, you know, these guys, and I know you guys do a great job with that, Becky and Harvey, that you can come in and customize and help them get some money to do those kind of repairs.
100%. We got the FHA 203K loans. We got our home renovation loans.
Yes.
And then it's just standard old-fashioned loans. Again, sometimes just changing the amount you're putting down on the house will free up that money.
Yeah.
And you can come back, and a lot of times if you're buying a house that's been distressed, it's been sitting on the market, and again, it just has, you have to have a vision. It's got all these great things going for it, but something that everyone keeps passing on, you know. And again, it could be that it hasn't been remodeled, and you might not have the money to work with, but as you mentioned, Austin, there's mortgage programs out there. We have them all at Capital Mortgage. Just give us a call, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. Again, find out what mortgage is going to fit your situation.
I have a perfect example. I had a gentleman reach out to me. He was looking for, the house wasn't exactly as he wanted to, so they reached out to me initially about doing a 203K or a renovation loan. So I ran the scenario. And then once they looked at it, they're like, you know what? And I gave them the parameters and what is the specifications and how you follow along with that. And he said, you know what? Actually, that I don't think we want to go that route because we'd rather do the work ourselves. Because when you do these renovation loans, you cannot do the work yourself. You have to have a licensed contractor to do it.
Yeah.
So we ran some different scenarios, and the 10% down, no PMI actually fit their specific situation perfectly. And that's the part of not only partnering up with a real estate agent that can fit your wants and needs as far as finding that perfect house, but you also need to make sure you're with a mortgage professional that is going to give you those options. We're going to put in our expertise. However, you are ultimately in the driver's seat. So you're going to say, this is what I'm thinking. I can give you my suggestions, but I'm also going to make sure that you're in a vehicle that's going to get you there as quickly as possible from start to finish, to make sure that you're educated, to make sure you're not being your own worst enemy, right? So when we're telling you specifically, please do not open new debt or buy that new car during the mortgage process, there's a reason for it. We're not just trying to rule your life. There's a reason for it because we're trying to uncomplicate what can be a complicated situation.
Yeah, we see that a lot with job changes too.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that later in the day.
I agree. It's not complicated.
Yeah.
You know, you call a good professional. For instance, if someone wanted to go see houses today, you know, they could give me a call at 248-270-2702. We could get on the line with Becky. Becky could probably talk to them in just a few minutes and get them qualified for what they feel that they're comfortable with purchase power wise. And then the rest is just rolling with it. We go see a few houses. If the house is perfect and needs some work, the program that you were talking about, that's fixed rates, right? So this is basically just like buying the house. They don't have any extra costs or anything really with it. This is it's a fixed rate product. It's FHA. So, I mean,
we got on both sides, FHA and conventional. I guess to the real estate agents out there and the sellers out there, the key is, though, that they don't take much longer, you know, maybe 45 days. In today's market, the only holdup could be sometimes getting a contractor out there if you want to use your own. We have the actual, the cost consultants will meet you at the property, and they have a list of I'm sorry, what are they, contractors?
Yeah.
Contractors that'll go out there for the specific job. So you got a roofing guy, if that's what you're looking for, a kitchen guy, and they get out there and they meet you. They put the plan together. And for agents and sellers, they can close these in still just over 30 days, typically closer to about 45 days. And again, as a seller, if you've had a house just sitting there in the marketplace, music to your ears knowing that you got your place sold and you can move on.
And here's the thing, too, is, you know, make sure that you're having the conversation after you've talked to the mortgage guys with your real estate agent so that we know what it is that your goals are, because sometimes there's multiple offers and you submit your offer. Maybe the person could put 50% down if they wanted to, but they're choosing to put 5% down.
That's a great point.
Right?
That's a great
we
point.
want to invest our 45% other cash into the, you know, the rest of the market, not the real estate market. Yeah. That way I can tell the other agent when I submit your offer, hey, these guys are fully qualified. Here's where they're at. They're just choosing not to, because sometimes you're up against a guy who's putting 20% down. They look like a better buyer, but maybe they're not.
Right. And to even piggyback on that, what are, between the two of you, what are you guys coaching your buyers to make their offer stand out even more? Because like you said, every situation and every purchase is competitive because most of them are going to be multiple. Like, are you waiving appraisal contingencies, that kind of thing? Like, what are you having them write a letter sometimes? Like, what do you think works the best?
Bill, you want to start us off? You have a lot more buyers.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we actually have a multiple offer addendum that we submit to. And what it has is it has 3 or 4 different things where we, you know, help the buyer along. They really make the choices.
Okay.
And what I found is, you know, the strength of the offer after they've been looking for a while, you know, if the turnkey properties are still priced a little bit lower. Anyway, so yeah, no, it's, you know, maybe a small appraisal guarantee, you know, saying, hey, if the appraisal comes in a little light, you know, what happens is everybody, as you guys know, at least in an increasing market, is that the appraisers are looking backwards a little bit. So sometimes, you know, they'll undervalue something based off the current market, and the buyers see that. They'd rather buy now for a couple grand more than wait until next spring where the market has now grown, you know, further and beyond there.
Right. For someone who might have overpaid last year, 10 or 15,000 over asking price, even appraised value. Hey, your house might be even more worth more. Here
Absolutely
we are a year later. We've seen about 5% appreciation across Southeast Michigan, more or less in different areas. That's a great point. 248-539-9797. We're up against a little quick break here, and we come back. All of your calls, 248-539-9797.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, We want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Welcome back to the show, 917 if you're just joining. It's the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. We're in our 18-plus season here of giving you the show. Go ahead and call in at 248-539-9797. If you have family member, friends, or anybody you want to help get a mortgage, be sure to call Capital Mortgage, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker. We'll get you a real strong approval letter. All the top agents in Southeast Michigan, all over pretty much the country now, know when they get that strong approval letter, they're able to move forward, Kevin. That's one of the things about real estate is really, we talk about it so often, is making successful home ownership. And I had talked about it with Jess just now. I said, shouldn't this be fun? You know, and I always hate when we I don't want to use the word hate, but it's discouraging when you do talk to some of the other people involved in the transaction, John, and sometimes they just don't have that same fun and it's not exciting. And I think when you're spending $100,000, $400,000, why not enjoy the process?
It should be fun. I mean, one of our big themes that our team goes back to as well is fun. We always want to be having fun, not just as a team and as a company, but having fun with our clients, because this should be an enjoyable experience. Unfortunately, it's not always the case. And I think a lot of the times the reason it's not is because the right people aren't involved. They don't have a lender that knows their stuff. They don't have a realtor that knows their stuff. I mean, it comes down to when you've got people that have confidence and knowledge, and they have the confidence in their team of experts around them, they're able to have fun. So when you have the right people, you get to have fun. This should be that way.
And there's a difference between working with, whether it be me, anybody for that matter, working with your team or other teams out there. And again, it's your job as a buyer out there. And you can interview as many people as you want, find out, some of their experiences, even talk to some of their previous clients.
Yeah, you just got to work with somebody that fits for you, right? And you just, in going back to that, having fun, there's always going to be somebody in the transaction that's trying to bring you down, and you just don't stoop to their level.
Yeah, you got to not sweat the small stuff.
Kill them with kindness and don't worry about the negativity.
Yeah, don't get into their world. It's all about the approach, how you approach things. There's always a solution.
Yep.
And we always find the solution for people, but it is a proper fit. It's like it's a relationship. It's if you fit with that person, go with it. If they're experienced, knowledgeable, positive, upbeat, enthusiastic, passionate about what they do, they're going to bring those kind of things to the table in working for you.
Ooh, that's a little slow chimey coming in there.
There you go. All right. If you're just joining us, 931, the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. That's right. You got to tune in 97.1 The Ticket. We're going to have tons of sports a little bit later in the afternoon here. We got some Tiger baseball. And we also have Dan Leach coming in for Pat Caputo. So keep it here on 97.1 The Ticket. Again, we give you a little 30 minutes here of Hardcore Mortgage Talk. 248-539-9797. We definitely want to take your phone calls. We've got all the fellas in here. And what's that office you're with, Joe? I think I was missing out on there.
That's okay. Dwellings by Rudy and Hall, located downtown Plymouth. We have about 45 agents, so we're the opposite of what Austin has going on over at Keller Williams. Not for any reason in particular. Yeah. We've grown. I mean, when I started there 2 years ago, we had maybe 23 agents. Mm-hmm. So we're doubled already, continuing to grow, and really focus a lot more on the concierge style service, more people to people, not to say other people aren't doing people to people, but I mean, that's our focus.
Yeah.
That's the number one training that we get when we come in is focus on people and servicing them.
Well, I know Austin wants to jump in there on that one.
Well, just say careful.
Get out of the studio, Joe.
Okay, you'll be recruiting him later in the afternoon. Hey, gentlemen,
careful, Joe.
Gentlemen, and of course, hey, Beck. There's no doubt we're in some of the hottest markets. I mean, it's like Denver, Colorado around here lately, Southeast Michigan.
Hot.
Cranes in the sky, Harvey.
But even with what's going on across this hot market, we definitely saw the inventory, definitely drying up a little bit early in the year. It's kept the numbers not as great as 2017. Of course, the dollar amounts are higher in the houses, but the volume's not as much. But again, there are these opportunities out there. We did see home ownership rate rose 64.3%. It just ticked up a point, so it's the highest home ownership in a long time. 6 straight quarter of yearly increases. Over the past 12 months, 1.77 million, almost 2 million people have become homeowners, and renters declined about 100,000. So again, if you're out there,
beautiful thing.
Yes, it is. If you're out there renting, you're paying somebody else's mortgages. You're not building equity. There's a lot of things that home ownership brings, sense of community, and some other great things. Again, find out how you can become a homeowner. Again, if you're planning on staying, if you're thinking about looking at job interviews, you're
Right.
just out of college, you haven't nailed where you're at. Yeah, maybe home ownership isn't for you right now, but definitely if you're planning on staying, home ownership's for the long haul. We see the millennials. Hey, they're hunkering down. They're going to buy that house. They're looking in these downtown cities, and they're willing to renovate. Because they're going to stay for a while, and that's just the key. If you're going to put money into something, you definitely have to ride it out to get your money back.
No, you brought up a couple of good points, Harvey. First of all, millennials are 35 years old now, guys. They're buying houses, okay? So don't let them off the hook too much. We're now on the next generation, whatever that is.
Yeah.
The other thing that you brought up is, there's an article floating around on CNBC right now about Southern California homes dropping and home sales dropping. We are not Southern California. Like, the market is hot, and you definitely, this is a great time to sell your house, and it's a great time to get into a house. And by the way, with interest rates, even though that they're not at 3.5%, like you were saying, Becky,
right.
The fact of the matter is it's still a great time to lock in a payment. Are gas prices going to go any lower?
No.
Are utilities, are commodities going to go any lower? So this is a great time to lock in your rate, get in a house. House prices aren't going any lower. This is a great market to buy a house.
You got to make your money work for you. Yeah, make your money work for you if you're renting. And what I get a lot of phone calls, okay, for example, where I don't know if it's a good time, and I don't know if I qualify, and I don't know if I should buy a house or if I should wait. Well, then talk to me. Let me look at the credit. Let us evaluate your situation, and let's take the guessing out of it. We'll tell you, yes, you can qualify, or no, you can't. Maybe there's some blemishes on the credit. We will tell you specifically what to do, to focus on, to get those maximum points for your credit score. So maybe we can take you from below qualifying to qualifying credit scores, because it's just about making your time work for you. And if you're out there paying someone else's mortgage payment, if you're renting, why do that if you can get into your own house?
Yeah, don't put yourself in a box, too, because definitely there's a lot of things, like just because you heard this situation with someone else's bad credit, your situation can be entirely different. One of the things is we don't even make you pay off the medical collection accounts up to a certain dollar amount. So sometimes weird things like that are holding families back, where they feel, look, I got this blemish out there, some collection account, or I didn't pay some cell phone bill or something. That might not prevent you from becoming a homeowner. Yeah, down the road, you definitely want to take care of your business, fix up your credit score, but home ownership might not be out of the question for you.
The biggest fear is the fear of unknown. And we need to settle that. Let's face it, whatever it is that you're afraid of, let's look at it, and it's probably not even going to be as bad as you think. And Austin, I wanted to talk about, we were talking about some technology and as far as like online lenders and Zillow and things like that. And to me, I think it's more important to, some people want it because everyone's on their phones all the time. It's internet. And the same thing with Keller Williams and with Capital Mortgage and with Dwellings is, not only are we able to advance your technical, so as far as we're available online, we're available on our phones, but you're also going to be able to get right in front of us. You can talk to us. You can meet me. You can meet Austin. You can meet Bill. You can meet Joe. You can meet Harvey. And I just kind of want to let you talk on that a little bit as far as what you're seeing on the real estate side.
Yeah, what you're speaking on, Becky, is a tech-enabled agent. And what you're seeing out there, and we're in a crazy time because technology is enhancing the real estate business so much. And the truth of the matter is that if you're not protecting yourself, you really can hurt yourself. So I'll give you an example. I had a really good friend of mine looking to sell in Lansing, and he was on Zillow and kind of playing around, and Zillow came up and said, you could sell your house for $170, and he thought that'd be great. And then I encouraged him to take an appointment with an experienced agent, and I sent out a Keller Williams guy out there, and turns out they ended up selling that house for $205,000.
Right.
So this guy would have saved maybe 1% on commission, 1.5% on commission. He still would have paid a buyer agent. So he would have saved maybe $3,500 and missed out on $35,000.
Yeah, I would say it's about a $3,000
You get what you pay for
swing.
sometimes.
Yeah.
You get what you pay for.
So even think about this. You've got people applying for mortgages on apps.
Yeah.
And then not talking to a human being. And this is a business where you really need to protect yourself. If you found yourself in legal trouble, would you get on an app and hire an attorney? No, you need someone that can actually know the judges, know the system, know the laws, fit and customize, know your situation, and keep you out of trouble. Again, God forbid that you end up in a bad situation.
Yes.
But It's the same kind of thing with a real estate agent. Sometimes we're so worried about convenience, or I might save 1% on commission.
Ends up costing you.
And it ends up costing you way more.
Yeah. You know what I like about that too is definitely requires what was I calling it this credit. If you have anything that's a little snag in your life, again, there's about 1% of the population out there that can probably go meet a real estate agent, tell them exactly what they want, and understand mortgages, and do this all online, and not really talk much to people at all because they've gone through it. Maybe 1% of the people. I think it's less than that. But there's no doubt I'm seeing clients with situations where it would be nice. We could fix up their credit score. We could use our credit expert program. Moving your credit score higher gives you a better interest rate, a better opportunity to get approved if you had some things in the past. If you had some trouble with tax liens in the past, we got to clear this up. There's a lot of things. If you've got some snags, you've got some, we say, a little hair on your file in the wrong places, you definitely need to have professional help.
An app on your phone is not clearing up a tax lien.
It's
like
not.
You're a tech-enabled professional.
Do you know, I talked to some tax lien guys last year, and they didn't even know you could get a mortgage if you had the payment plan worked out. Their clients were thinking that, no, until I pay off the federal tax lien, I can't even buy a house. So, again, a lot of education and knowledge out there. Joe, Bill, you guys deal with it every day. We're constantly feeding that knowledge base for clients. And, again, that knowledge gives you the confidence to move forward and make good decisions.
You know, the other thing is that the people that are renting right now, what happens is they kind of get into a lull where they think, well, I'll just buy when the lease is up, and then they start looking maybe a month before.
Oh, boy.
The problem is yes, exactly, Harvey. It takes us a little bit of time to get the transaction closed. If you are in a lease and your lease is up in the next 6 months, you know, give me a call today. What we'll do is we'll talk to Becky and we'll talk to Harvey. We'll get you in the right position so that at the end of your lease, you can simply transition into your new home. But it does take us a little while, so give us a call.
Timing is everything.
I threw out, Beck, I threw out a couple other things on that list. I couldn't say it at first, and I had a whole bunch of things written down. One is, like, again, did you not file your taxes? Did you not pay for your taxes?
Yeah.
Those are the things that pop up that can really destroy a transaction. It could bum out a seller, it could bum out your agents and everyone involved. So, again, we love the online. We have the Capital Mortgage Fairway Now application, which is, if you like to do things that way, we're faster and better than anyone else. Or, like, I'm going to meet someone right after the show today. So it's always nice to meet people to come into the office place. You guys are going to folks' houses and always sitting down and finding out what their needs and wants are.
The key is, too, though, like, if you're using our mortgage app, not only you can do whatever it is that you want to do to make it convenient for you, but you're still going to talk to me at the end of the day. You're still going to talk to Harvey at the end of the day. You don't just get pushed off. You're not going to talk to or deal with anyone else but me and my team specifically. And like what Harvey was talking about, don't be your own worst enemy. If we're asking for your W-2s and your tax returns and you didn't file your 2017 tax returns because you filed an extension, just tell us, and we're going to tell you what the next steps are so that way we can make sure that we have a smooth transition from start to finish in underwriting so we can get you in that house ASAP.
Apps and technology are like a part of it, right? So they get you a certain thing. For example, woke up yesterday morning, someone was on our website, they had seen a house that they were interested in. So I was able to shoot them a text and say, I'm going to set you up on a search similar to that. And then when I was done with some appointments and things like that, I actually made a phone call, talked to the person, and found out, yeah, they were interested in that, but they were actually interested in a lot of other things. So the apps, the websites, all these other things are tools. They help, but at the end of the day, you still talk to somebody face-to-face, over the phone, something like that, and you're going to get way more results and way more things done.
Yeah,
Plus, you can talk options. I mean, that's the big difference, too. I'd rather be standing on the fairway with Becky talking about the different options than riding a rocket.
Exactly.
Nice.
Love that stuff.
By the way, this is why top agents work at Keller Williams, and we've got the best tech there is. We've got personal assistants on our phone, like a Hey Alexa, same kind of thing. We call it Kelly, where you actually can. Oh, and you've got to cut out.
Hey, Keller Williams. We'll get to that right after.
Yeah,
that's all right. 248-539-9797. We got tons to share with you. Keep it right here on The Ticket.
Hi, Harry Glantz and Danberg for Capital Mortgage Funding. We do loans everywhere. In Southfield, in Birmingham, in Royal Oak, in Groseal, in Detroit, in Canton, in Northville. No matter where you live, we want to do your mortgage too. That's Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
Welcome back to the show, 9:32. If you're just joining us, it's another beautiful Summer Saturday, I guess, here in Michigan. Hey, why not get a house? Call Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE, the best mortgage banker.
So this is what we live for in the summer, Harvey. We live for these days. And,
I like it.
Traditionally, I jinx everything. So, today it's going to rain, tomorrow it's going to rain, all those kind of things. But it doesn't matter. It's still going to be 90 degrees. Last night, went downtown, had a great night at Empire Kitchen and Cocktails.
I would go there tonight, Harry. Good.
You got to go.
All right, I'm going.
It's really good.
I'll be there at 4, Harv.
Yeah,
Come on down.
Atmosphere.
Are you?
Yep.
All right, definitely getting down to Detroit
Atmosphere
again.
is really good. Right at the corner of Woodward and Erskine. Go
Hey,
there.
over in my area, downtown Rochester, sidewalk sales finishing up today. We had dancing in the streets last night. Some great stuff happening in the Rochester
Did you
community.
dance in the streets last night?
There's YouTube
Yeah,
videos of Kevin.
absolutely. Yeah, we actually hosted and sponsored that event, so we were pretty excited about it. It's a good time.
Always a lot of great things going on in Rochester and such, Ann Arbor, Brighton, Detroit, Royal Oak, all the corridor up and down. There's a lot of fun things happening here. We always talk about what a great place it is in the summer, the lakes, the golf, great colleges in Michigan. This is a great place to live, folks. And not only that, Michigan, you're sitting on a record amount of equity in your home. That's right, the highest volume of equity probably ever right now based on appraised values and what's going on in the marketplace. If you haven't taken a look at refinancing to get rid of the mortgage insurance, the PMI, the MIP, or even taking a look at cash out refinance, please call Capital Mortgage Funding, 1-800-LOW-RATE. Let's see how much money you can consolidate and really set yourself up for the future. Here, not only are our clients pulling the equity out of their house, but they're dropping the years. They're not using their house as a piggy bank this time around. They're dropping the years off their mortgage, consolidating debt and doing the right thing.
Well, we're doing a lot of 20-year fix now, taking people out of a 30, putting them into a 20. If they are on a 30 and they want to go to a 15, that's my favorite product. When the idea when you take out a mortgage is to pay it off. I know I'm a bad mortgage guy because I tell people to pay off their loan early. Add additional principal, cut those years off, and you could have a free and clear house by the time, hopefully your kids are out of the house and they're on their way. But, taking that equity out of the house also, you have to do it constructively and you have to do it very, very cautiously. If you're going to pay off toxic debt, Harvey, and we call that the 18% credit cards, you have to do it smart, and then you have to tear up your credit cards.
I tell them to keep the credit card, but definitely pay it down to zero. But anyways, learn from your past. Learn from your past, no doubt. Hey, let's go to our call this morning. We've got Lori out there on the cell phone. Lori, good morning. Welcome to our show. Go ahead.
At the end of that hour, and you could win a $1,000 signing bonus. 97.1 The Ticket.
All righty, welcome back to the show, 9:46. Good morning, Detroit. It's a gorgeous day outside, a little on the cooler side. Get out there and enjoy. Hit those golf courses, the lakes. Of course, always wear your ski jacket. Be careful. Watch those kids.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood today.
I like that. 248-539-9797. Why not call Capital Mortgage all week long, all weekend long? You get that house refinance. You could do a cash out refinance. That's right. Home ownership's the way to go. So many of you with trillions of dollars worth of equity in your house. We see lots of families taking advantage of the cash out refinance for lots of reasons. Back, of course, paying off toxic debt, those high interest rates on your credit card. Some families just paying off the student loans, keep the cash flow really looking good. Lots of reasons. And more importantly, removing mortgage insurance. It's always been one of the things out there. Mortgage insurance on conventional loans called PMI, on FHA loans, they're called MIP. Yep. If you have enough equity and if you don't know how to remove it, definitely call Capital Mortgage Funding. We're the experts on it. We'll teach you what you have if you didn't know how to get rid of it and when it falls off. So there's lots of nuances in the world of mortgages. Again, FHA loans taken before June 3rd, 2013, that MIP falls off your loan. But if you have an FHA loan after that date, that MIP sticks on the loan pretty much for a lifetime. So again, some other things in there.
Time. So
never going away.
It's worth it to take a look at it. And a lot of people are calling right now as far as getting rid of like a lot more of its debt consolidation that I'm seeing. Mm-hmm. And me personally, I didn't hit the birth lottery, so my parents did not put me through college. And not that there's anything wrong with that. They just were hardworking and they just didn't have, there's 4 of us, that kind of thing. But there's a lot of, I'm seeing where they have all the student loan debt because they did put their children through school and now they're in their retirement ages and they are strapped. They're on Social Security, they're on pension, and they can't just go and work a couple hours to make a couple extra $100, that they actually would be, it's like life-changing, that extra $100. So they're calling us up, and they're actually making their equity work for them. They're paying off some of that debt to free up their debt. And right now, I think I just saved this guy like $1,000 a month.
Yeah, the cash flow is humongous, especially as you get up there in age. And that's why we also offer reverse mortgages, again, for our retirees 62 and above. Reverse mortgages don't fit every circumstance, but they do fit many circumstances out there. And there's lots of opportunities to you to save money. Again, 248-539-9797. And we want to definitely talk about some great real estate stuff that's going out there. Do you guys want to talk about any listings or any stories that came up through the week? Give us a little feedback on the vibe of what's going out there.
A couple things. First, if you thought, wow, that guy sounds great, then come see me this afternoon, 1 to 4, 47633 Vistas Circle Drive North in Canton. I'll be there with my partner, Jesse Scheifel. We'll be hosting an open house. It's on the fairways, Pheasant Run fairways in Canton, and it's right on the 26th hole, I believe. So
that's a great sub.
That's something you're looking to do. Joe, 47633 Vistas Circle Drive North.
Okay, an open house out there on Pheasant Run Golf. Is that what it is? Pheasant Run Golf Course. And Joe, just give us an idea, like that particular home. What does that sell for?
It's listed at $315,000.
Wow, that's not on a golf course.
Really
on a golf
affordable.
course.
Wow.
All right,
it's a condo.
I'm going to start playing again.
I might be going to look at it myself.
Yeah.
First floor master. So that is actually
that's a winner.
It's a huge thing for everybody.
Yeah.
Everyone used to think first floor master or ranch, that's for old people, whatever old people were. But in my subdivision, we're building ranches, and there are millennials, as we are always using this term so negatively, millennials that are buying it, and senior citizens that are buying it.
Right.
Why? Because this might be my forever home.
Mm-hmm.
I want it to be my forever home. If it's my forever home, then I'm not going to move out of it. Then I need it now, not when I turn whatever age you turn when you decide you need a first floor master.
That's a great point.
That price range are right there, especially for empty nesters, and you got first floor masters. I mean, that's pretty much, it's a little on the higher side as they're trying to, everyone's trying to downsize. Sometimes downsizing doesn't mean you're going to save money, especially in today's marketplace. So it gets really interesting with what's available out there and what's going to be a good need for you or a want that's going to work out for you years later. Bill, do you got one of those type of homes out there? I know you work with a lot of buyers out there. What have you seen this week or anything interesting with some of your homes?
With the homes moving as fast as they are, we don't have as much of an inventory as we used to have. So what I do have today is we have a nice opportunity right on Stonewater down Northville.
Know it well. Yeah. Wow.
Yep. And it's right on the lake, and it's on the wide side of the lake. So it's got just an awesome view. It's got a finished walkout, about 4,200 square foot. The owner bought it, and they didn't put a lot of work into it, so it needs a little bit of updating and things like that. But that's why it's priced at 1.2. We're holding that one open today from 2 to 4. So if you'd like to stop by and see one of the only opportunities in Northville to be on the big lake with a walkout.
What's the address on that, Bill?
48067 Manorwood. That'll be open today from 2 until 4. I've got 2 more that are coming up. We got one which is a small colonial in Farmington Hills with Farmington School District.
Oh, that's a great one too.
And that's a great price. So that one will probably be on the market by this week. And then we've got one coming up where the timing is a little bit strange. This is a special property. It's probably going to be one of the most expensive ones in Farmington Hills. It sits about 6,500 square foot, sits on an acre in a nice wooded, and he had it custom built. They're moving on with life. They're going to be doing something different now. So this is one of those ones where someone that's really been looking for that special property, give me a call because we've got to time this one out right. It might be a few months before we can get the buyer into that one.
That's great. You do get a lot of those type of situations, though, where sometimes timing works out for all parties involved. And again, they might have to sell a property, or maybe they're moving back to town. Or again, we had a lot of transferees also with the automotive company really rocking and rolling. Here we are getting more and more families moving back, and we see all the young people moving back from Chicago. I mean, they've got nothing on us anymore with a great rehab Detroit and everything that's going on here in Southeast Michigan. Tons to share with you if you want to sneak in your phone call 248-539-9797. Getting fully approved is one of the things we always talk about. Again, we talked about it in the last segment a little bit. If you have a little bit of something going on in your life, you might even have funky funds. What does funky funds mean? It means cash money that you've got underneath your safe
cash
at home.
Cash is not king in the mortgage world.
No, it's not. You got to get that cash into the bank quickly. We suggest that the deposits are, again, it's nice that you've been saving it, but put them in. We tell you, we'll talk to you off the air about how much money you're working with. But again, cash is not always king. And again, you have to document and source your money that you you're using for the purchase of a
What
house.
do you call it? Funky funds?
Funky funds.
Guys, stay away from that funky fund. It even smells funny.
The hot economy. What else do we got out here? The hot economy has definitely been doing some great things here, and the pressure has been on rate. And that's one of the things, Austin, is that we see is, and because way back you were in the industry for a little while on the mortgage side of things.
Yeah,
And
he's got a little bit of everything. He's
done
on
it
the
all.
mortgage side, now he's on the real estate side.
16 years in the business, guys.
Jack of all trades over there.
So definitely, though, but strong economy, things are doing well. We don't see a break in interest rates necessarily, which is fine. You're going to do well in the stock market, hopefully. And I wouldn't even mention that I took a $45 hit on Facebook the other day. I think the whole world did. But it's just a matter of real estate is a great investment. This is a long-term investment. You're going to put a gorgeous roof over your family's head, and that's the key, is doing the right thing for your family. And again, we have some open lines here, 248-539-9797 if you want to join the show.
Yeah.
Want to jump in with anything?
The difference is with real estate versus the market is real estate pays you an income. One of the things Gary Keller, the founder of our company, talks about is buy property and hold on to it. And don't sell property, buy it and hold on to it, because this is an investment that'll pay you an income. And even if you talk about your parents and kind of their cash flow situation, if they in their 30 years ago would have bought some properties and paid off those mortgages, they would have a cash flow that carried them through retirement, almost like a retirement fund. So if you're looking to invest in real estate, that's also very hot. If you guys call in, definitely connect it over with me, Harvey, and we can help out the
I like
investor
to call
side.
it mailbox money.
Yeah.
You just open your
shows up.
mailbox and you got some money.
No doubt about that. I'm glad you mentioned that, actually. Right. A lot of opportunities out there. And again, you can buy investment properties with as little as 20% down. Also, we want to throw out there on the mortgage side of things, vacation homes. Sometimes these vacation homes become rental investment
rent those
properties
out too.
also.
Yeah.
We see so many families taking advantage of some up north properties, and they're priced everywhere. I was sitting down with Danny at our office this past week and looking at some of the great opportunities all around the great state of Michigan. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're on the Huron side or Lake Michigan side, and they're priced every different price range. I saw a great cottage opportunity, $55,000, and then of course all the way up to the $2 million on the big water.
I mean, you could buy stuff on the Lake Huron side for nothing. I mean, $200,000 to $300,000 lakefront. Some of these might be a little uglier, but if you put a little sweat equity into these things, same kind of thing even here in Metro Detroit. Even though housing prices are skyrocketing, the truth is there's still a lot of ugly houses that you can put some money into and get going. So again, we do a lot of investing out of my office as well. So
we also, one thing I want to touch on, we talked about earlier in the show, and I'll just throw it out there. Yeah, rates, you hear they're bumping up a little bit. Let me just give you an idea, though. The difference between 1%, 5% versus 6% on $100,000. I did some math for us last night. Was what is it? $71 on a 30-year. It was $71 difference. So it's not a big, humongous difference.
That's
between
dinner for a family four at Applebee's.
$71 difference between
dinner and a movie.
And $100,000. So if you buy a $200,000 house, and again, rates haven't gone up that full 1%. You might have been in the low fours early in the year. Yeah, about a half.
About a half.
Yeah, and if your credit's good, you won't even feel it that bad. So it's not outrageous. I did it on a 15-year. It came up with a $51 difference.
Yeah.
On a 15-year mortgage, $100,000, a 1 full percentage point higher. It's only $51 difference. So if you got stuck on a $200,000 house and you had to close now and you wish you would have bought last year, it's not the end of the world. And of course, as you know, we're still allowed to write our interest off as a tax deduction on our tax return.
Yeah, I'd love to talk a little bit about interest rates too, Harvey. I mean, look, the economy's great, and you got to think about how the Fed works, the tug and pull on things. Look, the better the economy gets, the more they're going to raise inflation. How do they raise inflation? Interest rates.
Yeah.
Right? So they want to encourage people to start saving money instead of spending it, and it's kind of the tug and pull. And so rates are, I agree with you. I don't think rates are going down. Lock it in. Lock it in. Buy a house.
Lock it in.
Lock it in and lock it up.
You guys talked about buying and holding, too, with properties. And one of the new things it's not new, but I think one of the things that's back is if someone wanted to turn their primary, if they're moving up from a starter home, and that would make a great investment property there. You guys can count some of the income from the rental, right, towards the purchase?
It's got to be
that
on
one's
the
going to be a little stickier.
Yeah, well,
Sorry.
Typically, at least if there's 12, you want to see at least 12 months. So for example, I'm moving tomorrow, for example, and I'm going to keep my house as a rental. I won't be able to use that as any income claimed until I've actually claimed it for at least 1 year on my tax returns.
Yeah, and usually they're not going to show income that first year, but they'll offset each other, and then you're able to move on. Hey, if you don't need the equity out of the house and you don't need to sell it, sometimes it's been a great opportunity. We encourage families always to sell to move on, but there's plenty of opportunities to hold and, of course, be a landlord to make some money that way.
And what I was going to say, too, is, when you talk to the mortgage experts, don't be That's right.
present.
Don't be afraid by what they tell you. We had a client who they thought for sure conventional. Well, it actually saved them money to be on an FHA just based on their whole overall DTI, cash flow, all these things that you guys talk to people about. And sure enough, we wrote the FHA offer. Why? Saved them about $10 a month.
Yeah, great stuff. Hey, that music says it's the end of our show. We'll have you guys all back. I want to thank definitely Joe Muck for coming in. Joe, you're awesome. Great to meet you. Of course, Bill West from Keller Williams Advantage and Austin Potash office from the Keller Williams Advantage Office Market Center, Novi, North Philly. You guys are all around. You guys rock and roll.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Always great to have you guys and see you. We'll come to your office and pay you a visit.
Thanks, Harvey.
We've got tons of stuff coming up here. We've got Dan Leach, sports here on 97.1. Beck, we cut you off. We'll see everyone else. Enjoy your day.